आज हम change of the subject करेंगे. Like let's just get started and not waste time in introduction. So in this part you have to make the subject to W. What that means is put W on one side and the rest of the things on the other side. So आप W को एक side रखेंगे और जो भी बाकी है वो सबको दूसरे side रखेंगे. For example, the first one, W is here and you don't need this positive 7m, so what you do is just move that to the left side. It will be as simple as don't move W and just move 7m. If it's positive this side, then if you move to the other side it should be negative. That's how easy change of subject is. In this video there will be a lot of examples and you'll know like how each step is being done. So let's continue. Again, here you have to make W as the subject. W is already here. You don't need negative r square, so what you do is move this negative r square to the other side. If you move it, then just change it to positive r square. Cool. So it was negative here. If you move to the other side, it becomes positive. Continue. Again, W. So you don't want the 6t, so what you do is plus 6t. If you plus on the right side, you also plus on the left side. Negative 6 and positive 6, that's why you are cancelling that. That's why W is left here and x plus 6t. See, just because this was negative here on the right side, so if you move it will be positive on the other side. The reason was because you want to eliminate negative 6. What you do is add 6t more, and if you add on the right side you also have to add on the left side. Let's continue. Again you have to make W as the subject, and W is here. We don't need this r first, so let's eliminate it. It was positive here, so if you want to move it will be negative. But W is still not the subject. Subject means there's only that letter left, nothing else, nothing multiplying with it, dividing it, plus division, whatever there is, you can't have it with it. Like this 2W refers to 2 times W. We don't need the 2 here, so what we do is divide it by 2. If you divide on the right side, you also divide on the left side. Why divide by 2? That is because 2 and 2 will be cancelled. So it will be left with W here, and then on the other side it will be P minus R over 2. That's easy, right? So continue. Similar example. So just first of all eliminate the G first, so it will be, if you move to the left side it will be positive, and then you don't need a 3 here. 3 here means 3 times W, and if you want to move that it will be dividing it by 3 as well. If you divide on the right side you also divide on the left side, so 3 and 3 are cancelled, so you're left with W. Similarly, let's keep moving. First of all, W is here. Don't move that first, move the rest of the things. So 2 moves there first, it becomes R minus 2. You're left with 5W. You also don't need 5, so you divide by 5. If you divide on one side, you also have to divide on the other side. That's all. Continue. So here again W is here, so you don't move this side first. Instead calculate the n first, like move that first. It becomes a minus n. Here you're left with n2W. Of course you don't need the t square as well, so you just divide by that. If you divide on the right side you also divide on the left side, so that is when it's cancelled, it's done. Continue. Again W is here. You don't need the negative h, so what you do is plus another h. If you plus on the right side you also plus on the left side, and here you just need a W. You don't need 2a. 2a is multiplying with it, so what you do is again divide by 2a on the right side, you also divide on the left side. So W plus h over 2a is your W. This should be an easy topic because the question being done here is 1 by 1 to a higher level. So if you want, you can always skip a little bit of the video and then try doing questions on your own. So here as well, you just need a w here, you don't need positive k here. So what you do is move that to the other side. It becomes RTW e minus k on the other side. And you just need a w, you don't need RT, so divide it by RT. If you divide on the right side, you also divide on the left side. Those are cancelled, and you're left with w. Continue. Again, you just need a w here, you don't need the rest of the things, so you have to do it once by one. But here the question is a little bit tricky, because let's do it in the method taught earlier. So r minus m, and then you're left with negative 2aw. You don't need this whole negative 2a, it's just multiplying with w. So if you want to eliminate it, just divide it by negative 2a. If you divide on the right side, you also divide on the left side. So that's why these all are cancelled, and that is left with this way. This is also your answer. Or what somebody will do is, because they don't like the negative signs, so what we do instead, like for the same question, they make w side as positive first. What they do is move it to the other side so that it becomes positive. Now see, so this question as well, so remove r to the right side first, so it becomes m minus r, and then you're left with 2aw. You don't need 2a with it because it's just multiplying, you just need w. So cancel, w is left with m minus r over 2a. They both are actually the same thing, it's just the negative difference. So even in your exams, if you write this way or either this way, both are correct. So let's continue. I prefer a positive sign because that looks good. So what I will do as a practice is move this to the other side so that it's positive first. So h plus m and w equals to s. You don't need an h, so you minus that first. You're left with m and w, and then s minus h. You also don't need these mn's, so you just divide that. So that's for this question. Let's continue. Here as well, you just need w, and again it's negative, so you move to the other side first. Again, you don't need a p, so you minus that first. And then you don't need r square as well, so you also divide that because that was multiplying with it. See, easy enough. If I'm too fast, please stop it and then replay it or do whatever you want. Just learn it, because this will definitely come in your DSE. Of course, not in such an easy way, it's a little bit tricky. The next video will be on exactly DSE questions, so this is just a practice first. Let's continue. Next is h equals to 1 over 3t. Here again you have to make t as the subject. Making subject means putting t on one side, the rest of the things on the other side. So if you want to remove 1 over 3, what you do is divide it. Of course you can do division, or there's another method so that you don't get tricked. What's on this side also means it's on the numerator. So here it also means t over 3, because 1 times t also equals to t. Yeah, so here you need to find t. You don't need this over 3. If it's over 3 here, like it's divided by 3, then if you want to move to the other side, what you do is times 3 so that it gets eliminated. If you times 3 on the right side, you also have to times 3 on the left side, so it becomes 3h equals to t. Now t is on one side, so it is a subject already. This sign on the right refers to which letter you have to make subject. Like here it's t, so that's why you have to find t. Next as well, so it's very similar, just put t on the numerator first and remove. So let's try. F equals to 3t over 4. Remove 4 first because that's farther from t, so it's divided by 4, so if you want to move it will be times it. And then we also don't need a 3 is multiplying with it, so if you want to remove it, it will be divide on the other side. That's cool, right? Let's continue moving. Next question is similar as well. Again, you have to make t as subject. So remove the 2 first. If you want to remove 2 from here, it's division. So you goes to the other side by multiplying 5t. And then 5 here is multiplied by t. So if you want to remove that, then you also divide on the other side. Easy enough? So let's continue then. How about this question? Please pause it and try on your own first. See if you know how to do it. Do it. Let's say you have already paused it. So here t is here. Wow, so many things next to it. But first of all, what you do is the thing farthest away. It's 5. 5 is divided by, right, the whole thing. So if you want to remove that, times 5 first. If you times on the right side, you also times on the left side. So it becomes 5 is cancelled. So it becomes 5d plus 3. Yeah, again, it's similar. You just need to find t. You don't need the positive 3 first. If you want to eliminate that, minus 3 on both sides. So it becomes 5d minus 3. And here, cancel. You can click calculator. Is 0. 2t. Now t is multiplied by t by 2. So if you want to eliminate the 2, you have to divide it. So cancel. You just left with t. 5d minus 3 over 2. Easy. Continue. You have to find t again. Do this first, and then the k, and then 4. So, and here is divided. So if you want to move that, it will be times. You are left with this. If you want to remove the k, you just plus k on both sides. Here it will be eliminated. So you're left with 4t xn plus k. You also don't need 4, so just divide it on both sides. Cancel. So t is left with xn plus k over 4. Cool. Move on. Similar question. You deal with 2 first, and then r, and then 3. So 2w, 3t plus r. I'll be faster now. Okay, so just move r to the other side. It will be minus, and then you also don't need the 3. So you divide on the other side because it was multiplied earlier. Next, how about this one? Remember earlier I said things on the side also means it's on the numerator when it's multiplied. So p also equals to t minus 6 over 4. So you do that first. You deal with 4 and then negative 6. 4 is divided, so if you move it will be times t minus 6, and now you have to deal with 6, so you just plus on the other side. Continue. Here as well, u equals to 2t minus 3 over 5. Deal with 5 first, and then 2, and then positive 3. So it becomes 5u, and then here it becomes 2t minus 3. We are not expanding it because there's no need of it. So how about 2? Just eliminate it because bracket also means multiplying. So if you want to eliminate that, you just divide on the other side. 5u minus 2. Here you are left with t minus 3. Now if you want to deal with negative 3, you just add 3 on both sides. This side it will be gone. It becomes t equals to 5u over 2 plus 3. Easy enough? Now let's keep moving. So again, things on the side also means it's on the up side. So 2t plus 5, because 1 times anything is anything. So I'll be a bit silent now and see if you can follow my steps. Yeah, because 2 was multiplied here, so you divide on the other side. You can always pause it and then see if you understood it. So just continue. How about this one? Again, you have to make t as the subject, but how? So it looks a little bit tricky, but it's actually not. It's still easy because t is here. The most farthest thing away is this one because a is just next to it. So you deal with w first. becomes m minus w and then t over a. And now you have to deal with a is divided by here, so if you want to move that, you just go that side and multiplied it. Now it's up to you if you want to expand this or not. You can, and you can also choose not to. It's all up to you. Cool, easy. And it's always suggested to have the equal sign in one go if it's in your exam. Of course, I am a lazy YouTuber, so usually I don't really care that much, but it's better to have equal sign in just one go. So let's continue. So again, t is here. The thing farther away is the negative 3. So you deal with that first, and then the n, and then the m. So I'll be silent and we do it. Yep, that's all. Here, when you remove the n to the other side, remember to put the bracket, because the n multiplied on that side is not just multiplying with v but also positive 3. So remember to multiply on both sides, like to give it a bracket so that it's multiplying to both v and 3. Let's continue. Here again you have to find t, mix t as a subject, so, and it's a negative sign here, so remember, if it's a negative you have to make it a positive first. So p plus a over bt equals to h, and then what's on the side also means it's on the up, so p plus at over b equals to h. The farthest thing away is p, so you deal with that. It's a positive sign here, so if you move to the other side it will be minus p, and then b, and then a. Yep, that's all for this question. So let's continue. This time it's a bit tricky. You have to make r as the subject. There's no more t. So r is here, the farthest thing is t. So you deal with s minus t, and then you're left with r squared. Oh, how do we deal with squared? So if you have to deal with square, what you do is put a square root on both sides. So r is left with this thing, because square and square root cancel each other. Okay, square and square root cancel each other. So that's why r is left with under root s minus t. Similarly, try this one. Just move negative 5 first, r square, and then if you want to remove square, you just do a square root. Cancel, cancel. It becomes r m plus 5. Continue. We'll be a bit faster now. Remove t first. Yes. In this square, you have to put a square root. That's good. Let's continue. Here as well, you have to find r. The farthest thing away is the negative 3. So if you want to deal with that, just move that to the other side. It will be h plus 3, and then you are left with n r square. Deal the n first so that it's easier. And now square, so you do a square root. So r is left with h plus 3 over n. That's the answer, of course. Continue. Deal with the negative m first, so it will be w plus m equals to p r square, and then deal with the p, and then square, you just put a square root. Square root square is cancelled. Yep, easy peasy. Let's continue then. Deal with the c first, so it's positive here, so the other side it will be negative, and then with the a, and then the square root, so you're left with that. Continue. How about this one? This looks a bit tricky, but is it actually No, because the farthest thing away from r is the square, so you have to deal with the square first. How do we deal with the square? Yes, you just put a square root. So square root x equals to r minus 2 now, because square root and square is cancelled. And then if you want to deal with minus 2, what you do is plus 2 on the other side. Easy. So similarly, square root first so that the square is eliminated. You're left with r plus n and then square root w. Cool? Yes. Same. Square root first, square root so that it's eliminated, and then c, and then the 2 because it's multiplied here, so you have to divide it. Be careful, don't give the square root to the c because it was here, it cancelled with it. So if you go to the other side, the square root is only with the t, not the c. Be careful. Continue. Oh, opposite now. So if you are given the square root, what do? Yep, you gave a square to both sides. So t square is 2, and then this one square root and square is cancelled. So n minus 2. If you want to deal with negative 2, what you do is plus 2. Yep, that's good. Moving on, again a square root, so you just put a square. H square is r plus n, because square root and square is cancelled. And then you just need an you just need an n, so you just minus on the other side with the r. Similarly, yep, so w square plus at, you get the n. Always remember to look at the bracket, like which one you have to make the subject. So here as well, but here you have to mix n subject, and it's a negative sign here, so what you do first is put that on the other side. H plus square root n equals to x, and you have to find x. You don't need an h first, it's farther away, so remove that first. And x minus h. Oh, there's a square root, so if you want to deal with that, put a square on both sides. Cancel. So n is left with x minus h square. Easy. Hope you can digest it as fast as I'm saying it. So let's continue. We are already halfway down actually. So here n is here, so you have to deal with the r first. It will be y minus r and the square root 3n. Put a square on both sides to remove the square root. It becomes y minus r square root, and then you also don't need a 3, it's multiplied here, so if you want to remove it, it will be divided in. And again, be careful, don't give the square to the 3. So let's continue. And remember, it's a negative sign here, so our practice is to make it a positive first. And then put a square to remove the square root. And then you also do need an m, so divide it by m. Easy. Then let's continue. Here, oh, we have a little bit different now. We have a t here and t here. If that is the case, the first thing you have to do is factorize it, like take out the common one, like t is the common here, like both have a t. So you take that out, and then what are you left with? Here, if you take out t, you are left with n. This side, if you take out t, you are left with positive 2. Okay, so now bracket also means multiply, so if you want to remove that, you divide it. Easy. Then let's continue. Again, we have 2t, so take that out first. That's the first step. And then remove the rest of the things to the other side. Yay. Continue. Again, we have 2t's, so take that as a common. R square plus 2, you don't need that, so you divide on the other side. Continue. Oh, here we have to do a lot of things. Of course, you have to take that as common, so it will be 3 plus w over 2r. So t is here, this thing is next to it, and then divide by 2 is a bit far, so you deal with 2 first and then this. So we also do it 2r because it was divided that side, and then bracket also means multiplication, so if you want to remove it, just divide on the other side. Continue. Here as well, take t as common, you're left with a plus 3 divided by 4 e. So you get t as 4e over a plus 3. Remember, as always, if I'm too fast, just pause it and do it on your own speed. You don't have to be as fast as I am. So again, t is common, so do that first. R square minus e. What will be left here? T is gone. That's 1 left, because t also means 1t. That's a bit of trick. Yep, that's all for this question. How about this? This time you have to make a as the subject, so remove the rest of the thing. It's a bit easier again. How about here as? So you do that first, and then you don't need a 2a, so divide it on the other side. Here you just need a u, and then u is just on one side, you don't need the other sides, so you minus that, and then something on the side also means on the top, so you can write it that way as minus at square over 2 equals to ut. And you don't need a you don't need a t here, so what you do is actually divide it on the other side as well. So s minus at square over 2 times 1 over t. Okay, you can of course always 1 over t as well. You can end it this way, or what you could do is put this into both of them. If we give to the both of them, so s times 1 over t, it's s over t. Then the other one is negative t at square over 2 times 1 over t, and then t here and here is a bit simplified, so it will become s over t minus at over 2. Yep. Hope you like it. Continue then. So you just need a g, so continue. You don't need the rest of the things, so just divide it on the other side. Same here, you just need an h, so you just divide it on the other side. By the way, do you know what is pi r square h? Pi r square is the area of the circle and h is height, so pi r square h is actually the volume of a cylinder. Because its base is a circle, that's why we use pi r square, and then times height, you get the volume v. Next, k equals to 1 over 2 mv square. You don't need a 2 first, and then you also don't need a v square. Cool. Continue. You don't need pi first, r square. And then you also don't need a square, so what you do is under root it. Same here. This pi r square is the area of a circle. Area equals to pi r square. We are just using different formulas to play. It's fun. Maths is fun actually. You can use anything to make any topic. Let's continue. We have similar, but this time we have to find the r. So what we do is v over pi h first and then r square. You don't need a square, so you also under root it, because square root and 2 cancels each other. Same here, v equals to pi r square h over 3. You don't need the 3 first, so times it first. Then you also don't need pi h, and you don't need a square as well, so under root it as well. You're left with this thing. Cool. Moving on. This time you also need a r, so let's make it prettier first. So 3v and then 4 pi r cube. You don't need 4 pi, so move that first. R cube. Oh, this time it's not a square, so can we still do square root? Actually what we do is third square root. Okay, that's also in your calculator. Like if you just right below the on button there is x cube, right? So if you shift that thing, it will be the square root, the third square root. So you just so cancel it. If you do on the other side, you also do on this side. So r equals to 3v over 4 pi. By the way, this is the formula of sphere volume. Okay, volume of a sphere. Sphere is like a ball. Continue. You have to find t square. So first thing is to eliminate the square root. So what you do is square on the both side. V square left with t square minus 3. You don't need a minus 3, so u plus 3. Oh, you don't need a square again, so what you do is square under root it. Yeah, put a square root. So if you put on one side, you also put on the other side. Cool. Let's continue. Here, is there anything common? Yes, and 2 is common and square is common, so you take that out first, and then the rest of the thing you can just eliminate it by dividing on the other side. And then you don't need a square, so what you do is square root both sides. Hope you like it. Continue. Here, deal with 2 pi first, and then you don't need a square root, so you just give it a square. It becomes v, and this one is m over 2 pi square. Here you don't need a square root first, so put a square. B square equals to 4a over pi, and then eliminate the pi by multiplying on the other side, and then also eliminate the 4 by dividing. Yep. Continue. You have to make L as the subject, so deal with the 2 pi first, and then you don't need a square root, so what you do is give it a square on both sides. So this square goes to here, here, and also here. You can do that way. 2 square is 4. Then you are left with L over G. Then you also don't need a G, so you just times it here. This time it's on the denominator, like dividing, so if you go to the other side, it will go up. Gt square over 4 pi square 2 pi square. Yeah. So try to digest it first, and then we can continue. Here, so in this question, what you do first is remove the bracket, because we have k on both sides and it's in the bracket, so do that first. Like expanding, hk plus 6h equals to 3h minus k, and then the next step is put all the k's on one side and then the rest of the things on the other side. So what we do is here is hk plus k, and 3h minus 6h. This positive 6h goes to the other side, so it becomes negative 6h. This one, negative k, goes to the other side to become positive. And now, because they both are same, like we call it like terms, so you can just directly do that first. 3 minus 6, negative 3h. And then here k is common, right? So take that out, you have h plus 1 left. And then we don't need h plus 1, so you just divide it, h plus 1. I think that's all for this one. Hope you like it. Yeah, so if you have any more questions, so you can also ask on IG, Instagram, or even if you have my WhatsApp, then ask there. Thank you. So in this question, what you do first is remove the bracket, because we have k on both sides and it's in the bracket, so do that first. Like expanding, hk plus 6h equals to 3h minus k. And then the next step is put all the k's on one side and then the rest of the things on the other side. So what we do is here is hk plus k and 3h minus 6h. This positive 6h goes to the other side, so it becomes negative 6h. This one, negative k, goes to the other side to become positive. And now, because they both are same, like we call it like terms, so you can just directly do that first. 3 minus 6, negative 3h. And then here k is common, right? So take that out, you have h plus 1 left. And then we don't need h plus 1, so you just divide it, h plus 1. I think that's all for this one. Hope you like it. Yeah, so if you have any more questions, so you can also ask on IG, Instagram, or even if you have my WhatsApp, then ask there. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.